Hello everybody. Well, thought I'd do a quick video and just share something with you. I was in a little bit of a debate sometime in the week with someone in another country, and we were debating about really what is the absolute truth. So I thought maybe I should share that with you because it's something that I think I've had many disputes about, because everybody seems to be of the opinion that they have their own truth and that's good enough. But what I'm referring to is absolute truth. And the absolute truth is based in one place. So the consciousness you have and where it stems from is the absolute truth. And a map to that is revelation. So we should be looking at revelation as to the absolute truth. Now, absolute truth means the truth of the seed point or the root point of your origin and your existence. And it's possible to find that because we know about our consciousness, and we know about Adam and Eve, and we have a couple of books to back it up with, and archaeology to confer, and there's a lot that tells us that our consciousness was created and wasn't just happened. So let's turn to the scriptures and have a look and see what they say. Maybe there's a bit of a clue there as to what truth is really all about, except for the fact that there is only one truth, and if you have that truth, you really would understand books like Revelation. So what is absolute truth? So I've actually since I've started this journey, I've been a staunch follower of the book of Proverbs. And Proverbs, in fact, truth is mentioned 180 plus times in the Bible. And truth is really a very important thing, because if you do not have truth, then you really do not understand yourself, and you cannot, impossibly, if you do not have truth, you cannot understand God, and you cannot understand how your life came to be. So the truth, that when I speak of the truth, I speak of the ultimate truth, or the global truth, as from a biblical point of view. So one good place where truth is mentioned is when Jesus said that I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Now that is written in John 14 verse 6. And what he's really saying is that he's the seed of consciousness. So if the consciousness is anchored in the male aspect of the Trinity, or of the Godhead, then surely the transference of male truth would be closer to the correct truth than what we would have if we would be listening maybe just to a female dictatorship. So the absolute truth is described in Revelation very clearly, and what needs to happen is we have to find the way to interpret it. So when we're looking at absolute truth, we're looking at a couple of things that we've been told, inside information, so to speak. So there's a couple of things that we can deduct from what is said in Revelation. So if we look at Proverb 8 verse 7 and 8, it says, For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse about them. And then Proverb 23:23 also says, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. So what it's saying is no matter what the price you pay for truth, that's the most important thing there is. So if we are looking for truth, then we have to be a little bit more open-minded because of certain things that have been said to humanity, said to the Israelites in the early days. And one of the things that would be that was said was, "Come out of her, my children," which means the Bible is trying to tell you something, or that the prophets of the times were trying to tell you something. Yeshua was trying to tell you something. He was trying to say, "Come out of her." So what did he mean by "come out of her"? All right. So when the Bible was translated into Greek, and from there became a Roman religion and all of these things that happened that I have been telling you about, something happened as well. It led the Israelites astray from focusing on their God in its totality. The God of Israel is actually a couple who have to be in Hieros Gamos. It's like Adam and Eve who have to be in Hieros Gamos for them to get back to one. So with all of these things that happened during the taking over of Jerusalem and losing themselves, getting taken into prison camps and being released, and which is another story I'll tell you about, but something happened. They switched over from the male god to the female god, and the female aspect, and this was considered Queen of Heaven worship. And what happened then is, slowly but surely, they lost their heavenly connection, and this was a great problem. It says in Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is one of the guys who I believe was so absolutely 100% spot on with his evaluations and what he was perceiving was happening to Yasharel, or to the Israelites. And he said in Jeremiah 7:28, he said, "But thou shalt say unto them, This is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Lord their God, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished, and is cut off from their mouth." Now what Jeremiah was really saying is that since they started doing this Queen of Heaven worship, which he describes in Jeremiah 44, but since they started doing this Queen of Heaven worship, there has been a disconnection from who we really are and where we need to be going. As Yasharel, remember I said all the blue-eyed people. So effectively, this message is really for the blue-eyed people. But what does Revelation say about truth? In Revelation 10:7, it says, "But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he has declared to his servants the prophets." And that's Revelation 10:7. Now, what is it really saying? Really what's being said to you is that there is only one truth, and Yeshua had it. He was trying to give you the truth. The truth is explained to us in Revelation, and that's the ultimate truth. Revelation explains to us where we are, what we are supposed to perceive at this time. The book explains to us who our enemy is, the whore of Babylon, is none other than the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, it's not possible for anything else to be. The sea beast is Roman law. It's maritime law. Sea beast, maritime law. It's the same thing. It's called UCC. So that is another thing we face. All of these things that are happening in Revelation. So it's truth. These are absolute truths. So when we look at the big picture, we can make up a very good mental picture of what is happening. But if you look at the situation the world finds itself in, and all you have to go and look is who is stimulating all of the problems that we are having. And if you open your eyes really and admit that there are problems, admit that it's not by God's way, but it's by everybody's way at the moment. Everybody's saying, I have the truth, I have the truth. And everybody thinks they've repented, and everybody thinks they'll be going to heaven. And it's going to be a very eye-opening thing when it really comes to pass in the not-so-distant future. But to cut a long story short, the truth is anchored in one place. And for us to find that truth, the book of Revelation is the best guide there is. If you understand what it's saying, then you'll also understand where we are going and what the world faces. Now, there's many things we are facing. It seems as though we are in the time of Gog and Magog. So, where I think Russia is launched a siege on innocent people, I believe. I listened to the talk by the United Nations Security Council, and the Russians are standing steady on what they believe. It's hard for me to say what I can assume of it, but it sounds to me as though Putin is intervening for a specific reason as well, according to the ambassador of Russia. So it's difficult to say at this stage what should be made of it, but I believe that if he carries on with his siege, then we face what is busy happening, and also judging by the amount of volcanoes that are erupting at this point in time, and the floods on earth as far as what they've reached. It's phenomenal to see how much turmoil is going on this planet. Even we've had floods here in South Africa. So I don't know. If you want to know the truth, then obviously Revelation is the place. But because of the religious aspect that we face, Revelation cannot be understood. It says in Revelation 5 that there's one person who can understand it. And it says in Revelation 10 that there's somebody who will write a book. So it's that person who is understanding that who is going to write a book. And that book is the book then described in Revelation 10. The same person. It's all about the same person. It's all about the Lamb. The truth is the Lamb. Now, if one goes and analyzes a little bit further, you'll see that the Lamb is also the lion, and he's known as a lion, which makes him really basically a tiger in the Chinese horoscope, or the character of a lion. And because of the Trinity aspect of what he represents, I would put him down as a Gemini, because he often makes the statement, he says, I am the Father and the Father is in me, or I am the Son and the Father is in me, or things like that. When he says, he's always referring to two aspects of himself, and there's a reason why that is. I will explain to you, but I would put him down as a Gemini as well. So the person you're looking for will have blue eyes, dark brown hair, dark brown eyebrows. He'll be born in the year of the tiger, and he will be a Gemini. So these are the things that are important to be looking at. and he will have a very sharp tongue, which means he'll be double-witted. So when he says something, he's always meaning something else. So you have to look at two aspects of how he speaks. And then it also basically describes him as a person with eyes like the flame of a fire, so you'll have to be looking for blue eyes as well. So I think that gives you a pretty good description of what the truth is you face. So if you like truth, carry on joining me. If you don't, well, if it hurts you too much, then maybe this is not for you. And if you looked at my t-shirt today, foxes, F-O-X is 666. So I'm a motorcyclist, so I wear fox stuff, and I don't do it on purpose. It's just nice t-shirts. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate your time, and have a good day. Bye.